Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast. I am your host and Foreclosure Deals Coach, Donny, recording live from our downtown Colorado Springs studio. Hey, thank you guys so much. What an incredible year 2022 was. Not a great year for real estate, if we're being honest, right? It was a tough year. Most areas reported down sales. It was really tough if you're a real estate agent trying to navigate the market. Investors got stuck with some properties. It was kind of a tough year for the real estate market, but I gotta tell you, I am super excited about 2023 and what it provides to us. Actually, let's make some noise for that. You guys excited for 2023? I certainly am. We got a lot to cover on the show today, so let's get to it. We're going to start, as always, with our mindset piece. Talking about smart people learn from everything and everyone. Average people from their experiences, and stupid people already have all of the answers. Listen, this was never truer than it was in 2022. The reality is the best thing to do during this time of the year, 2022, was to learn from everybody. There were opportunities to get educated all over the place. Never before has there been so much access to information. You can go to YouTube. You can read good old-fashioned books. You can check out TikTok. Man, what an incredible platform for getting educated in short form and learning all sorts of stuff about real estate and pretty much everything else. So smart people in this year and beyond are going to learn from everybody. Now, average people are going to try to figure out through their experiences. See, there's a lot of great to be learned from experiences. If you can get in and start doing deals right away, one of the best ways to get educated is to do it. But the reality is a lot of people are just getting started. They don't know exactly where to go to get their first deal done. So that takes us back to really intelligent people knowing that they got to get educated from everybody or get a dedicated real estate investment coach like yours truly to get themselves started. And my favorite part of this is stupid people and knowing all of the answers. I got to tell you, I offer the coaching product to people week in and week out. I do presentations to explain to them how the coaching works. It's not a sales pitch by any means, just an explanation. And in my experience, not calling anybody stupid directly, but most of the people who don't take advantage of the coaching opportunity really feel like they've already got all the answers. Well, if that were the case, if you already had all of the answers, why haven't you done your first deal yet? That kind of hits a little bit, right? Here's the thing. If you knew what to do, you'd be doing it. So the best way to get a feel for what's going on in the market is to get started and start doing it, doing the deal. And if you're going to do the deal, you're going to want to do the deal, in my opinion, by getting professional help. Just sign up a great client. Shout out to Ray. He listens to all the episodes. Ray, welcome to the Foreclosure Deals Coach family. But we were talking about how Ray said he had listened to every episode of the show to get to this point, and he was simply ready to go. Okay, I want that to be you. I would love for you to listen to the show, and by the time we meet for coaching, you already know that you don't know what it's going to take to get started. You need that first pitch to get going, and I certainly want to be a part of helping you with that pitch, because when you understand what has to get done, your life, your world, your ability to start real estate investing is simply going to get easier. I promise you, you're going to love the results once you get started in the coaching product. Let's get into our article for the week. Got a great article from the Jacksonville Daily Record talking about the outlook for residential real estate in 2023. And although this was specific to the Jacksonville, Florida market, Northeast Florida area, I think it really applies to most of the country. What it talks about is how in the world of real estate in 2022, we went from a hugely, wildly active market in the beginning of 2022, right, where houses were on the market for hours, not days, to by the end of 22, right about the second half, when interest rates increased drastically, we started to see a fantastic drop in the real estate market because the interest rates went up. So what happened, prices went up in the beginning half of the year, and by the end of the year, we were cooling off and starting to what we call stabilize in the market. Let me look at this. Let me give you a perspective on that. Although it was a great time in the place when the market was rapidly accelerating through 2020 and then 2021 and then half of 2022, I have to tell you that the investor market tends to do better, believe it or not, during stable markets. Why is that? Well, because there's a balance between the buy prices and the sell prices. You see, guys, in 2021, I was buying a lot of great deals, okay? But the market was so competitive that every property, whether it was retail, wholesale, or otherwise, had multiple buyers competing for that property. As a result, the only way to get a deal was to compete. And when you're competing for a deal, the design of the market is it's pushing the prices up, so you're not getting as good of a deal as you can get right now. Okay, so without as much competition in a balanced market, everybody and their mom was either getting a real estate license in 2022 or trying to do their first flip. There was competition on every street corner, everywhere. You wanted to find a house deal or a real estate agent, just throw a rock. You'd easily find one. There was one everywhere. Okay, today, it's a little bit more competitive. Today, there are deals on the market, so they're actually easier to find, and you don't have to compete all the time for all these deals. So I am super excited that 2023 is going to be way more balanced, way more consistent, and you're going to have to run your numbers a lot better. You see, in 2022, we were able to speculate that the market was going to continue to increase because it had for the past 2 years. Right? One example I told a couple of times is on the Springs Hell House. We had a property that we bought we expected to sell it for $750,000. By the time we got that property done, because the market had gone up so high, we sold the property for $830,000. This was pure speculation. The market increased. I'd love to take credit for that as a real estate investor, but the reality was it was just a market condition that certainly could not have lasted and was not going to stand the test of time. Okay, so now you're going to get a balanced market based on using actual comps. The comps we have to be using right now are the comps that took place in the fourth quarter. Whereas I would have comfortably gone back 6 months or even a year to find my comparable sales in the marketplace. Today, I'm not looking any further back than 90 days because that's the only accurate assessment that we have of what the marketplace is currently doing. Okay, so this article really gets into that we're going to see a more balanced, if not flattening, if not even a reduced market. The only reason they don't believe in this article that the market is going to continue to reduce very much is because inventory is still kind of low in the marketplace. This is an opportunity. We have definitely seen an increase in inventory overall from 21 to 22, but it's still not where it needs to be to support the ultimate demand of buyers. So what's happening? You still have an interest rate problem, okay? We're still in about the mid 6% range right now. The expectation is that it's going to fall to about 6 by first quarter this year, and then maybe get back down to the mid 5s by second quarter of next year. Again, that's pure speculation on my part, but that's also bringing up what we've seen in the past based on what mortgage rates do after a huge run-up like this, okay? So by the time we're at second quarter, the quote-unquote normal. The expectation is not that rates should get back down to the 4s, and I'm pretty sure we're not going to see 3s again, maybe ever, but probably not in my lifetime. Okay, so the actual value of what we're going to see for interest rates right now is going to wander right around that 5% mark. That's going to become the new normal, and buyers are going to adapt to that based on the higher prices that we're dealing with right now. House payments are simply going to be more moving forward. Opportunity here, okay? Because if your house payment's going to be more, your expectation is you're going to get a nicer house. This means your outdated, ugly houses are going to be lower in value because let's face it, if I got to pay 5% interest rates for my property, the expectation is that I'm going to get a nicer property. If you're a flipper or you want to be a flipper, which is why you're watching and listening to this show today, it's going to be that you're going to produce a nicer product with updated design, better paint colors, nicer staging, all the things that go into building a better product so your end buyer is going to be more likely to want to buy your product. As a result, the properties that are not updated, that are still in the 70s, 80s, or even 90s vintage are not going to sell quite as readily because people, you got to think about it. A 2000 built property is now 23 years old. right? So that's a huge gap in design. Wood trim was super popular during that era. The cabinets that were used back then were different. Everything about that design element, even though it's a 2000 built house, is now considered dated. We can go in now and do a cosmetic overhaul on those properties and provide buyers with a huge return on what they're looking for in the retail market by simply updating some of those dated features in those properties. And again, if people are going to pay the higher interest rate for their home, the expectation is going to be that they're going to get a nicer property for it. Okay. So all this leads into, if you're ready to do your first deal, again, talking about Ray, my new client. Ray was a truck driver. Okay. And is a truck driver today. Ray realized that when he was running around trying to get his trucking license, the first time they put him in a big rig, 18-wheeler truck, they didn't just give him the keys to the truck and go, hey, buddy, good luck, hope it works out. Okay. Yet a lot of people want to hop into the real estate investing market in a tumultuous market like this and go, I'm just going to figure this out. That just seems psychotic to me. Okay, why would you take on something that could have such an impact on your financial future and attempt to do this on your own? It just doesn't make sense. Okay, with coaching, I can help walk you through how to find, figure, fund, fix, and flip your first deal anywhere in the United States of America, making sure that not only you get a profitable result in the property, but you learn a lot, have a great time, avoid a lot of the stresses that come into doing your first deal, but most importantly, walk out of that with a minimum profit of $25,000 or more for doing your first deal. Did you know that a lot of people, up to 80% of people who do their first flip without coaching, lose money? Is that how you want to pay for your education? I don't think so, man. I really highly suggest today that you consider getting a coach, learning about the market right there in the local marketplace, getting some guidance. And the best part is when you're working with me, I'm learning that market with you in real time. So together, we're going to combine my experience and your local market knowledge. Even if you don't have a ton of it, we're going to combine those two things to do at least one deal for you. And I'm certainly hoping that we form a partnership that lasts the test of time, where over time, we're doing multiple deals in that marketplace. I'm not just out there hawking coaching and hoping to provide education like a lot of mentors. I want to do deals in your local market, combining the power of great analytical tools, market research, and over 300 flips in my career to make sure that you're making money on that deal. And listen, I'm not looking for a split. Okay? I don't want to cut to the action. What I want is, I'm so convinced that the coaching is going to work for you because I understand how to navigate this market, because I've done it before in 2008 when I was getting my start, that I want you to make all the profit so you will sing the praises of the Foreclosure Deals Coach system and encourage other people to jump in so I can be involved in markets all across the country. This is the ultimate win-win partnership, and I'm certainly hoping that you'll jump on board. Let's get moving on. Today's tactics is going to be talking about wholesaling. Now, if you've been staying tuned, you know that I had the queen of wholesaling on my show, Miss Gabrielle Simmons. What's up, G? She is crushing it out there on the wholesale market. And the reality is, when the market started to slow down for the flipping side, I had to start doing a couple of wholesale deals myself. So I encourage myself and my clients to start looking at wholesaling as one way of producing an income while flipping had slowed down just a little bit. So what is wholesaling? Let's talk about that just a little bit. Wholesaling is when you get a property under contract, and you can find that property on PropStream. You can find it on Privy. That's where I find the majority of my wholesale deals. You can locate that property on the market, get it under contract, meaning you're locking it down for whatever price you can get it for, and then you're going to assign that contract to another investor for a profit. So I'm going to give you a story, an example of this working in real time. I actually got a deal from one of my coaching clients who found this deal in a local market, and Cody brought me the deal. We had it locked up for $245,000. Now, that made it an absolutely stellar, amazing deal, because the retail on this property was about $400,000. An old market, remember, we were only using comps from the past 90 days. Okay. So prior market, it was about 420 or 425. So this was an absolute steal of a deal. Well, I took that deal. I offered it to another one of my coaching clients. We marked it up a good amount, $40,000, ultimately selling it for $285,000. And I split that deal with my coaching client, both of us making $20,000 on that deal for a property that everybody was happy with. The seller wanted to get rid of it. They were very motivated to lose that property. It was like a probate deal, and they had started rehabbing it and only gotten halfway through it. They were super frustrated. They could no longer sell it on the retail market because they had basically reduced the condition in an attempt to do a remodel on their own, which in retrospect was kind of foolish, right? Then I was able to take that deal, add on a profit. So I'm happy because I'm making money on that deal. My coaching client who brought me that deal is happy. And my end buyer, my investor client, is going to put another $30,000 to $40,000 finishing that property up and then sell it for somewhere between $390,000 and $400,000. No one lost on this opportunity. Okay, this was an ability for everybody involved to make money. And I got to tell you, the essence of real estate investing is a win-win-win-win situation. Okay, if you're setting up situations where everybody walks away feeling like they benefited from that interaction, you are solving problems and you will get paid big money to do that. Okay, that's the essence of what we do here. So definitely made some money on this deal. The question now is, how do you find wholesale deals? Well, one way you can find wholesale deals, I want to pop up my screen here just a minute, is you can find deals by looking on tools like PropStream or Privy. Now, Privy, we talk about every single week on how to find deals. Go in and it searches and sorts those properties based on finding below market deals. You then pitch those deals out there. But the big gap that we had, and Gabrielle and I talked about this on the show, was that you need somebody who can pay cash for the property. So when you're ready to sell that property, you've got cash buyers available. Obviously, the more cash buyers you have, the higher you can drive that wholesale assignment fee up. So it is actually beneficial to you as a wholesaler to have multiple cash buyers. Also, although it's great to have a relationship like Gabrielle and I had, where I was her exclusive cash buyer, the reality was when I ran out of funds or ability to do deals because I had too many deals going, a lot of deals that we wanted to do simply could not get done. Okay, so we fixed that largely by using this PropStream tool, which I'm going to show you here right now. So we've got the screen open here, and in this case, that deal I was talking about was an 80915 in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So I want to show you how we're going to locate cash buyers in your local marketplace using this PropStream tool. Now, listen, if you want to get PropStream, right up on the screen right now is my bit.ly link to the affiliate link on PropStream. I would just love it is if you're going to sign up for PropStream, if you would do me the favor of going ahead and signing up using the affiliate link for me. I make a couple bucks on that. It's how I keep the show going, and I would really appreciate that. So right here, you see, it's so easy. You just put in the zip code and you got 559 cash buyers right here that are available to go ahead and look at your property. You can sort this. Obviously, some of these are from a ways back. So you want to try to find recent cash buyers in the marketplace. So you can filter that by putting in, you want cash buyers who bought recently. And the other thing is you can do a search right here where you can set up the dates and whatnot on here. So you're getting just recent cash buyers. But for the sake of this objective here, you've got one property here that sold on Martin to a cash buyer, and you can see this was purchased by an individual, so they may not necessarily be an investor, right? They may be just somebody who wanted to buy a property and have the cash to do it. But if you flip through a lot of these, you're going to find properties that were purchased by cash buyers as recently as December here that were purchased. A lot of times we're looking for properties that were purchased by LLCs, corporate identities, because here you go, SFR acquisitions, right? This is a cash buyer based out of Chicago. So you got to do a little bit of what we call skip tracing to track down SFR acquisitions. Who owns that, find that entity, and then call them and say, hey, I saw that you bought a property in 80915. I just found a property at 80915 that could be a great deal for you. Are you interested in purchasing another property in the area? Now, listen, this is work. Okay, no doubt about it. This is not going to be something that's just going to be handed to you. And then you got to get over your fears and pick up the phone and basically cold call these cash buyers, find out what they're looking for, and be accurate at pitching your deal. But I can promise you this, if you get good at this process of locating cash buyers and finding deals that you actually lock up on Privy, then find cash buyers on PropStream, you can do 2, 3, 4 deals a month at an average profit at $5,000 to $20,000. That's an incredible living for someone trying to build the money that they need to either do their first flip or to buy more buy and hold properties. If you're going to get wealthy in real estate investing, do not expect this to be easy. It doesn't work that way. The work is going to be done if you really want to make it. But if you're willing to put in the work, I can promise you there are cash buyers in each and every single market. And once again, when you're in coaching, I'm going to work with you week in, week out. So if you're at the wholesaling stage, because you got to raise some capital to get going, that's fine. We're going to work on finding you cash deals and then locating cash buyers out there to buy those deals. The point is my objective is to get you through to doing your first deal. And the more clients I can help to do that, the more impact I can have on your life. And the more you're going to tell people how awesome Donny Corum, the Foreclosure Deals Coach, is, which is simply going to add to my business for the long term. Okay, so that we talked about mindset as we do each and every single week. We talked about a news article. We've just talked about wholesaling, and now you've got a tool that you need, PropStream, to get going in the wholesaling market. That's everything you need for today. Okay, to get started, simply reach out. I would love to chat with you. We've got slots available. Listen, I'm going to take on 100 clients in 2023. That's not a ton. Okay, when you think about nationally speaking, I've got the bandwidth right now to take on only 100 people who I'm going to walk through finding, figuring, fixing, and flipping their first deal. Okay, you want to take advantage of that. You're going to want to message me right here. Go to the Facebook group, find the Facebook group, join that, message me there. Let's talk about whether or not professional coaching is right for you and how I can get you to do your first deal right there in your local market. A lot of cool stuff is going to be happening. Stay tuned for the 5 F's of Foreclosure Investment System course. Going to be launching here in January, so stay tuned for that. And it's basically going to be a bottled up version of all the stuff that I teach on the podcast in one location. It's going to give you video tutorials on how to get through your first deal. I can't wait to get that out there. Stay tuned for that. But that is our show for today. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. It's going to be an incredible 2023. Set some big, hairy, audacious goals. Get started in coaching today. Let's get your first deal done. And with that, this is Donny Corum, your Foreclosure Deals Coach, thanking you so much for tuning in and reminding you now and always, don't buy a house, buy a deal.